Hey everybody, today we're going to cover a topic on grief and loss, and it's not going to be focused really on that part per se. It's going to be more on overcoming it, so I'm just going to go over, I put this in my book, A Warrior in the World. Spiritual Samurai covers pretty much all aspects of life. So in one of the chapters, I put the Kubler-Ross model for the 7 stages of grief. The stages itself have no chronological order. One could last a longer time than others. You could feel one for an hour and then stop. It's like, so our emotions will come whenever they come according to how we're dealing with this loss. Loss could be of a loved one that either passed away or left, or a breakup from a relationship. It could be anything where pretty much you lost somebody that's part of your life. It could be a coworker, especially in the military or anything like that. So the 7 stages here, it's first one is shock, initial hearing of bad news, denial and isolation, trying to avoid the inevitable. Number 3 is anger, frustrated outpouring of bottled up emotions. Bargaining, seeking in vain for a way out. Depression, finally realizing of the inevitable. Testing, seeking realistic solutions, support groups, or therapy. And then the final one is acceptance, finally accepting and find a way to move forward. So this could be in any order. And the thing is, with the whole healing process, you could feel amazing one day. You could feel amazing, like, anytime during the initial phase, and then the next day it could be all the way back to scratch, feeling like, wow, I felt great yesterday, today I feel horrible. And the most important thing is not beating yourself up about it. The most important thing in my eyes is really feeling it. If you feel angry, if you feel upset, if you feel like you're in shock, don't try to suppress it. Feel it fully. It's like, if you could feel it, you could work through it. If you deny it, it's always going to be sitting there in the background in your life, because it will come up sooner or later. And usually, if this is relationship based, it'll come up in the next relationship. Or you might find somebody that has all the same traits as your ex that created these problems to begin with. So really looking into those dark places is very difficult for most people, but to look at it and analyze it in a way and have whether it's through therapy, group therapy, whatever it is, reading, like to really look at it and try to see why you keep repeating the same things and why you feel a certain way and why do you feel that way and where did it originate from. All these things are really important to look at when it comes to letting ourselves grieve and mourn and to heal and move on. Because if we don't go through that process and we just suppress it, it's like, oh, that person's gone, who cares? But it might have been a bad relationship where you're happy it's over and you're not depressed, you feel a sense of freedom, but you have to try to still look at why didn't the relationship work out. And you have to do something which is really difficult for this day and age, is taking accountability and responsibility. Everything now within the media and all these different woke groups is blaming everybody. Nobody knows how to take responsibility for anything. So even if a relationship didn't work out and the person was at fault, look at how you played a part in it. Because you need 2 people to tango, right? You need 2 people to do that. So one gives a certain type of energy and so does the other one. And there's a play and a dance between the 2 people, and this is important to look at. So when we start to look at what happened, and now we try to look at how we can move on. We can't fix the person, we can't fix anybody. Most of us can't even fix ourselves, because most people don't want to look at what we do when we're on automatic pilot from everything we've been pretty much conditioned to do from childhood. So looking at these places, and in my book, I think it's like chapter 3 and 4, I ask some brutal questions. So if you're ready to do a deep dive, this book is definitely for you. It's a book about everything in life, but sometimes we have to really look at things we don't want to look at for us to learn grow and to move on. And most importantly, not repeat stuff that we shouldn't be repeating because it's toxic. So taking that, now moving forward, is that, yeah, you'll feel depressed, you'll feel all these things, but it's like, what do you do with that energy? You could either do negative stuff or positive stuff. That's totally up to you. But when you're in that place of healing, it's like, try to seek therapy. Find a good friend, a real friend. It's so rare these days, right? Because everybody's so full of shit, texting and liking everything, but nobody pays attention to anything because they want it to just be about them. But to have a real friend that really cares, if you have a family member, somebody that you trust, if you could go to therapy, go to therapy. If you could go to group meetings, whatever helps you and whatever puts you in the place where you could kind of relax and share is the most important thing. What one person does is not always best for the other. We're all different, so that's a big deal. And then during that time period, you will go through roller coasters of emotion. You'll be pissed, you'll be angry, you'll be sad, you'll miss the person, you'll love the person, you'll hate them for the abuse that they caused, you'll hate for the way that they treated you, you'll love the way that they did treat you in the beginning. It's like, it's like all these emotions will be a roller coaster. And it's okay. And there's no chronological order where all of a sudden it's like, okay, I worked through the shock period, it's over, I'll never have to feel. No, you might feel shocked 3 weeks later, just out of nowhere, like, wow, I can't believe this is over, and that's all part of the period of growing spiritually and moving on. A lot of us go, oh, I want closure with that person. You might not get it. And sometimes the closure will be more abuse. Also, reaching out to that person might help reopen those wounds where it's like you're starting from scratch again. So closure is something that we all think is a good thing, but it's usually something that we don't get. And if we get it in a way that we didn't want it or expect it. But, so watch what you ask for. But during this time period, I recommend to reconnect with the things that you do love, the things that do bring joy in your life, the things that make you who you are. So whether it's volunteer work, watching comedy, going out dancing, pre-COVID, and hopefully there'll be a post-COVID eventually, where anybody could go dancing. You don't have to be labeled as something, of course. Where if you love music, making your own music at home, whether it's rap or beats or mantras, it doesn't matter what it is. Like, just exploring your own musical talents is a beautiful thing. If you write your feelings down, do a journal, express yourselves, because sometimes when we can put this stuff into words, it's a way of releasing, and it's a way of putting feelings and emotions into something that's concrete, which is words, and then from there we could really express ourselves and let it go. And so poetry, what's the other one? When people are doing like dialogue, like open word type of things, drawing, painting. If you're a gardener, go outside and plant new flowers. Reconnect with old friends. Read spiritually uplifting books. Some books with psychology might be a little bit dark, but they are spiritual books because they're going to help you get more insight on things to help you. And this has, to me, always been the best thing for me, reading spiritual books. If you're the type of person that goes to church or goes to synagogue or goes to the mandir or, a spiritual center, go do that. We need time alone, but don't spend all your time alone because that's not good. Then you're gonna go deeper into a dark place and it might take longer to heal. So the hardest thing and the thing that takes the most courage is just when you feel like not doing anything, to go out. It's beautiful outside. If it's not the winter and it's freezing and snowing, go out, sit in the park, just listen to the birds, listen to the wind hitting the leaves. Being in sun is good for your mood. Take an exercise class, take a yoga class, put yourself a little bit outside of your comfort zone to go do things that you normally wouldn't do, that you always wanted to do, but you couldn't because that person didn't allow it or it become problematic. So like reconnecting with things that you really love to do or things that really connect to your heart, go out and start doing that stuff. If the person didn't allow you to do something and it wasn't a bad thing, go start doing it. Go experience life again. experience life without the wicked stepmother or wicked stepfather, where now you're free of them, where you could go do what you want and go enjoy life. And the funny thing is, once you start to really accept that, you'll start meeting amazing people in your life that have similar stories or care, which is an amazing thing. And they start to push you in the direction that you want to go, but they're more of not pushing you, but they're more of supporters and cheerleaders to cheer you on, to hope that you succeed, instead of hating on you and trying to put you down. So you want to connect with positive things. If going to church is uplifting, go to church. If walking your dog is uplifting, walk your dog more. If you have an older person in your building, if you live in a building, and you're somebody that that's sweet, ask them if they want to go for a walk outside, or if they need somebody to go shopping for them. There's just so many things to do besides sit home and ruminate. The person that's going to always beat you up the worst, emotionally and mentally, will be yourself, because you're going to take all that stuff from that relationship and replay it, and then give yourself different outcomes. If you could have, would have, should have, that just doesn't do anything. It doesn't help anything. It just makes you take 2 steps back. So if you took 1 step forward, it took 2 steps back. This will happen, but the most important thing is being aware of it and catching yourself in the process. Once you could catch yourself, you could say, stop. I'm not thinking that. I'm not going there. I'm not doing that. Or just pause and go, okay, I don't want to do this to myself. Stop saying that to myself. And just breathe. There's meditation. There's so many meditations out there that you could do that really help. One from Dr. Andrew Wiles, I think it is. I'm sorry if I mispronounce his name. He says, okay, sit there, close your eyes, good posture, breathe in for 6 seconds, hold it for 4, exhale for 8. Same thing, breathe in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold it, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then repeat. And just closing your eyes, breathing in your nose and out your mouth. In your nose, out your mouth. Try to pick up a meditation practice. Try to learn things about yourself. Because if you could discover yourself, you could recover yourself. So, when sometimes we really want somebody to help come and save us, and that's a dangerous thing, because you might do a rebound relationship and that person's the same as your ex, and then it's like you keep doing it over and over and over again. So taking time out for yourself is really important. Being true to yourself is important, and that's not in a narcissistic way. But one thing that really helps is something called radical acceptance. It's like radical acceptance. It's like, knowing you can't fix anybody, you can't change anybody, you can't change the past, you can't recreate something and go back in time. It's like, this is what happened, this is how it happened, this is why it happened. And if I really don't want that to happen again, I gotta do the work. I gotta do the road work. And then from there, life will change. But an important thing for sure is, while you're going through that healing phase, start to learn things, start to live life again, start to find the things that inspired you. There was some movie, I forgot the name of it, but it's an independent movie where this man, he's all gloomy and sad, and it's like he still works, and he just doesn't care about life at all anymore. And then you get to see pictures of his wife and him, and it's like, oh, his wife died. How did she die? Then you finally learn that she died from cancer. And it's like, since she's passed, he's not living anymore. He's just killing time. And the one thing about killing time, you don't have to worry. Eventually time's gonna kill you. So you wanna use your precious moments and time in this life to really learn the most and grow the most. But in the documentary, he ends up meeting, I'm just gonna cut it short, he meets a musician that's a African drum player in the street of New York, and then he's playing, and he just fell in love with the sound of the doumbek drum. And after a while, he's like, oh, can I learn how to play this? And the guy's like, yeah, I'll show you how. And it's like he started going to drumming circles and stuff, and it's like he found this just new like look on life, where life was just amazing and beautiful and fresh again. And he just started dancing around his house, like thinking of the drum beats and stuff, and it was just so beautiful. It was such a simple documentary. Independent film. It was so beautiful, and it's just like, yeah, it's like, what's that? What's gonna give you that spark again? It's easy to go in your room, close the lights, put the cover over your heads, and be in that dark place, and we all do it. But just once you start to notice it, and it's been a while, it's like, okay, I gotta change. I gotta change this. I gotta go do something. I gotta do something for my health, you know. And they show being active, whether it's any type of exercise or listening to music too. This changes your mood, and this will help you. So the video, I didn't want it to be too long, but I hope the information was helpful, and I hope I got my point across, because I do have ADHD, so my mind will move 10 times faster than what my what I could say. But I think I kept on track pretty good, and hopefully all is well with everybody. Happy healing, and everybody's a warrior in the world. All you have to do is put some effort in and face things. Be courageous, be brave, you know, but most of all, be persistent and resilient, and keep moving forward. All right, thank you, everybody. Talk to you soon.